just to make it clear for people, uh, for each pipe, like let's say, if it's before we enter the Bali Reef, for the offshore, for example, do you mean specific like low nutrients, like high flow, highlight, pretty highlights? Those things would be great for the offshore
Yes.
biotope.
Okay. If we talk about the offshore, offshore is the sense like outer Australian and or Fiji reefs. So we work with zeolite, we work with strong skimmers and a stronger light because we try to make the first 5 meters, 6 meters stepped where corals living there. So it's plate growing acroporas, and under there some others. So and they need full lighting, full current, and this is the high end aquarium for the reef keeping. So
For
that's always the base.
for full light, you mean you can get near like 500, 600 par,
Yep.
really strong light.
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
And
And you
flow
can use
light,
T5 or LED. So it
and
is
for
it
flow,
is
we can give help to the corals, like for flow.
yeah, yeah, but don't look too much on amounts like 500 powers or 600 powers or flow like 20 times a minute the whole tank. For me, people looking too strong on simple numbers. It's the complete reef tank means I have not that much decoration, so very low decoration, so that I have a good flow. A good flow can also be made with a 15 times a minute the reef tank out, but the water can flow through the cords. It helps nothing if you build up in this tank a wall, and behind the wall all is rotten, and in front you have a current like in a thunderstorm. So this helps nothing. It's not only the number; it's the sense behind. When I have in mind a Fiji reef, I have in mind light, turquoise water, space. And many waves coming, and there's action in it, and that's in small than in the reef tank. If it's only 400 power, it's okay. It really doesn't matter because when I go to a reef and it's full sunshine, which is that's not the most of the time we have clouds, and then the coral is in 5 meter, and then we have a little bit turbid water, which is also in Fiji usual. It's not always clear. Then the light reduces on much lower than we detect on the surface. It's highlighting means that I work with LED, that I work with a T5, that I have these daylight, 14K, 15K lights, bluish daylight over 10, 12 hours, and running the typical zeolite reef tanks, which we know since 20 years, let me say. This is the sense behind. And it's not only the number. And low nutrients means it doesn't matter if you have 0.02, 0.04 PO4 or 2 or 4 nitrate. It means not that you has to have 0 at all. It means that we don't work with 1, and we don't work with 1 ppm PO4 or with 20 or 100 nitrates, like in beginner reef tanks is usual. Low, I think today everybody know what means with low nutrients.
Yeah, low but not 0.
You can do 0, but then you give the food on another way. So this is that what we detect is not that what is in the tank. We can, tanks, you detect 0 and the coral grows like weed. Why? Because you only cannot detect nitrate, but maybe it's ammonia inside. So it's organic structures inside, so that the corals are well. That means not. It means low nutrients, means outside water, means not to feed the corals. A little bit, yes, but it's always lower. Light is higher. Yes.
Amazing. And for the light, you said we should make, let's say, at least a part of the day with really white lights.
The most. You can do
Okay.
it a little bit more blue. That does not matter. It's, in my opinion, it's too much discussions about this fact. It's a little bit more blue or a little bit less blue. But in fact, the coral grows in 2 meters depth of water. It grows also in 10 meters depth of water in Fiji. And in 10 meters, they had another spectrum than in 2 meters. So, and even they grow as the same coral. And maybe she had a little bit less red and for this a little bit more green dots on the body. So who cares? This is for me a completely wrong discussion. So the point is which light we use. So we have advantages in LED, we have advantages in T5. In my opinion, until today, is a mixture of both at the moment the most effective way to get these pastel colored, bright corals, tables. They love that as most. We use here sometimes the Radion G5, the new ones, which is 90% to that mixture, but even when you add a little bit T5, it's even a little bit better for this type of corals and this type of habitat or type of tank. Yes.